Well, I'm doing this live. I'm going to try this live. I'm going to do this live because my phone does not have enough storage to save this. And so, you know what? I just decided I'm going to go live and I'm just going to do this. And that's what we're doing today. So I am Shauna Partlow and I'm a teen relationship coach. And I help parents connect with their teen so they can talk about all issues with their teen, all right? And today we are going to talk about helicopter parenting. So you may have heard this topic, I'm sure you have, but if you have not, that's okay too, because you are in the right place, baby, okay? And is what, like I said, we're just gonna talk about that today. And I'm going to talk about this because I have heard a lot of parents talking about this. And I've heard them saying in the midst of conversation or just, like I said, just talking about it. And here's what I'm hearing a lot of them saying is, oh my gosh, you know what? Just leave your teen alone, let them live some life, cut them some slack, stop hovering. Oh my gosh, like there's a lot of those statements, phrases being said out there to other parents. And I think there might be a little bit of a misconcept of what truly helicopter parenting is, because when I'm hearing other parents say this to parents, a lot of times it's they're saying it to the parents that actually have some guidelines for their teenagers, that actually have some structure, that have some rules. And sometimes those parents are being the ones that are called, oh my gosh, I'm being a helicopter parent. And hey, sometimes it can be true, right? Because that's a real thing. It definitely is a real thing, being a helicopter parent. So I'm going to give you what like the actual, I guess, I don't know, so to speak, definition. So, but here's what a helicopter parent is, okay? This is like the definition, so to speak. And that is, a helicopter parent is overprotective, okay, and over-involved in the life of their teen. Now, of course, this isn't just for teenagers, that they're over-involved in the life of their teenager. I'm saying teen because that's what I work with, and that's who I connect with, parents helping them with their teenagers. So that's why I say teenagers, okay? But of course, this is any child at all, definitely. So it's, of course, a parent who is overprotective and over-involved, okay? And when they're talking about helicopter parenting, just like a helicopter hovers, right? It goes up, down, every direction. That's what you tend to do. You tend to, as a helicopter parent, okay, you're just going wherever your teen's going. You're just so overly involved. I hope you're catching what that's saying. Overly involved, okay? Not just involved, because there's a difference, isn't there? To be involved and overly involved. So when you are helicopter parenting, oh my golly, there's a big difference. So you're just kind of following your teen, doing whatever they do, but to an extreme, okay? So that's what helicopter parenting is. It's like the extreme of parenting, which, hey, I know that parents have their best interest of their teenager, definitely. But when you're helicopter parenting, that's like I said, it's to the extreme. So here, of course, when I'm talking about helicopter parenting, I'm going to give you some little things of what it is also, okay? Even though I just kind of gave you the definition a little bit, but here's what it also is, okay? If you are overly involved, okay, and as I'm saying this, I want you to be thinking of maybe some trigger words that come to your mind as you're hearing what I'm saying, okay? So then you're thinking, okay, well, maybe that is me. Or, wow, that is my friend. So when I'm telling my friend, man, chill out already because you are hovering again or still, you can forward this video to them and then maybe they will see the signs and be like, wow, okay, I guess that is true. So, all right, I'm just going to give you these things again, all right? So if you're overly involved in every aspect of the life of your teen, to an extreme, yeah, hey, that's helicopter parenting, okay? If you don't want your teen to make any decisions because you always know what's best and what is always right for your teen, all right, mom or dad? The next one is, if you are constantly making small issues big when it comes to your teen because you are always intervening. All right? That's helicopter parenting. The next one is if you never let your teen experience a relationship of any kind besides with you and a very, very, very small select of one or two people. You thought I was going to say group, didn't you? A small select group. No, 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 no. A small select person or two people. And that is kind of like you, mom, dad, being right, hovering over the friendship, over the relationships, and you are just like, bam, right there. And hey, you know, sometimes you do got to be hovering, okay, in the sense of like, because you want your teens to be with solid, for real people and relationships, and that they are good, right? Okay, but you know what? Helicopter parenting and doing what's right for your teen in the aspect of like, hey, okay, well, they're kind of a drug addict and I don't know if you should be hanging out with that person. Okay, that's not the same thing, okay, as just hovering and never letting your teen have any friends, all right? Now, there's a difference between like, right, you not letting them have friends, okay? Do you see what the difference is there? You're not letting them, okay? That you're very, yes, we do need to help our teens make wise choices in friends, but when you don't let them, all right, that's the helicopter parenting there, all right? So then the next one is if you sabotage your teen from growing up because you want them to live with you forever. Forever's a long time, all right? That's helicopter parenting. All right, I hope you got the word there. That key word there is sabotage, okay? Sometimes, yeah, your teen has to come back and live there, you know, after they graduated, gone out there, but that's not the same thing as you sabotaging them to grow up, all right? So then another one is if you don't allow your teen to be in any activities because you are afraid they will get hurt. All right. And hey, I'm not just talking physically, but I'm talking emotionally as well. All right. That you don't let them be in any activities because you, mom or dad, are so fearful that they might get hurt. Okay. Mentally or physically. All right. That's helicopter parenting. So then the next one here is if you, mom, dad, are constantly overly concerned and worried about how others may treat your teen is, yeah, helicopter parenting, okay? So I hope you picked out some of those trigger words, and especially in this last one, that you constantly, that word constantly, okay? Overly concerned and worried about how others may treat your teenager, okay? That is helicopter parenting. So I'm definitely sure you are getting what I'm talking about here when I'm talking about, you know, what is helicopter parenting, all right? Those are some things that it is. If you need to go back and watch this video, of course, hey, it's going to be on here, all right, on my channel. So yeah, you can go back and see that. So definitely, I know you got what I'm talking about. I know you know the gist of this, but it's a real thing. And sometimes parents really do go to extremes in their parenting. And, you know, and I totally get it. You know, I'm a parent, not been a parent. I am a parent, okay? And I totally understand that. You know, you want to protect your teenager and you want them to do good things. You want to be the best mom and dad that you possibly can. You know, hey, so do I. And so did I when I was raising my teenagers. And hey, it's not always easy. And you don't have a guidebook. You don't have something. Well, when they act like this is what you do. When they want to have friends, this is what you do. You don't have that sort of a guideline. But you kind of do now, okay? If you're connected to this channel, you're getting a guideline here. So you should, you know, definitely subscribe to this, and then you can just save this little video. So helicopter parenting, yes, it's a real thing. And a lot of times it's because parents are parenting out of fear. Okay, and that's why they want to hover and just constantly protect. So the overly, that's where that comes from, because we are the ones who are so fearful. All right, and that of course does not help your teenager. And when you are just overly, okay, concerned, overly, really like over parenting, and it's not healthy for you and it's not healthy for your teenager by any means. And of course the intention is good and it's, you know, it's there. I understand it. But when the parent is not realizing, okay, the damage that they are causing mentally to their teen, okay, to never develop any self-confidence, because when you are constantly hovering, okay, your teenager cannot develop self-confidence. And sometimes it's, they have a hard time developing that anyway. It also sets back your teen from self-discipline, okay, because when mom and dad are constantly right in there intervening all of the time, your teen doesn't have to develop those things. Oh, mom's got it. It doesn't matter because mom's going to do that. Dad's going to take care of it. They don't develop those things. And then they just kind of start to push back and sit back, and they don't develop into the adult that they should be developing into. And this also, when you're helicopter parenting, okay, it also prevents your teen from experiencing some measured risk in their life to learn how to handle situations for their life, all right? Because we all have situations in our life, don't we? Yes, we do. And really, no matter what the age. So even when you have a toddler, they have situations, and when you have teenagers, when you have your adult children, there's going to be situations. But when we don't teach our teen how to handle situations, because we are constantly hovering and being over them, they're never going to learn those things. So I hope that this has maybe given you some insight, okay, about what helicopter parenting really is, all right? It's not someone just has some guidelines and some rules and standards, all right, in your home and for your teenager. It's not just that, okay? It's to the extreme of that, all right? And that your teen is not developing then. So you can let me know, all right? If you maybe learned a little something different about what helicopter parenting is. Maybe you know somebody, or maybe now that you're like, wow, okay, guess my friend isn't a helicopter parent after all. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that anymore, because they actually have some standards and rules for their teenager. And maybe I'll just zippy my lippy and stop saying those things to them. So, or maybe you're like, wow, actually, that has been me, Shauna. Thanks for showing me this video, because I did not realize that I was being the helicopter parent. And wow, now you're thinking, well, what do I do about that? That's an excellent question. So I'm glad that you're here, because I'm going to show you some things that you can do, okay, about that. What, do I do now? Because when you see videos and you see these things, it really is not enough to just like, wow, okay, man, that is so me. That's so my teenager. But now it's like, well, what am I supposed to do? Thanks for sharing, but now what? So that's going to be the next part of this, okay? It's like the now what? The fact that you are realizing that, oh my golly, wow, I did not know that I really truly was being a helicopter parent. Okay, again, it's to the extreme, all right? Not because you just had some rules, some guidelines, and your teen messed up, and now you're like, hey, buddy, you're not doing that anymore, and you're not pulling that crap anymore. That's not helicopter parenting, that's parenting, all right? And you do need to be parenting your teenagers, and that's where people make, I would say the number one mistake is when they do have teenagers, is the number one mistake is they stop parenting them because they think that they do not need them anymore. And that is completely false. Your teen absolutely positively does need you, just in a whole different new way. Okay, it's a whole different structure. That's the difference there. You don't stop parenting, all right, and let them do whatever they want. No, you don't. Okay, and you don't just become hovering either. All right, so there's, you got to work through some things. So you already did the first thing. If you're thinking this is you, like, oh my gosh, wow, I just can't even believe this. This is what you do, okay? You just, like I said, you did the first step, and that is you acknowledging, wow, man, you had a revelation that this has been you. That was your first step. So woohoo, go you, yay. I needed some confetti, don't I? Whew, just to throw that in the air. So let's pretend I just had some. All right, so that's your first woohoo for you. And because you're realizing that you cannot be parenting that way, because it's an unhealthy way of parenting, all right? And you cannot change what you do not acknowledge. So if you're not acknowledging that, and you're maybe being a little bit too prideful, thinking, well, you know what, I'm not being that kind of parent, and you really know you are, and then you just don't want to admit it, because now it forces you to do something about it, doesn't it? And that's the hard part. It really is hard to change what you've been doing. And again, it's because of your fear, okay? So you have to do some things differently, all right? So then secondly is what you're going to do is, you know what? Don't be so hard on yourself, all right? Cut yourself some slack and you know what? Have your moment of depression, cry if you need to, whatever it is, but you gotta get out of your pity trip, pull yourself up and be like, okay, you know what? Gosh, I've been such a bad parent and I shouldn't do that. You know, don't stay there. Have your moment, but do not stay there, okay? Your teenager needs you, and if you have other children, they need you too. And so does your spouse, and so do you. You need you, okay? You cannot stay in that state, all right? So again, have your moment, and then go splash some cold water on your face and, you know what, get over it, okay? Because now you're going to do something different about it. Like right now, today, in this video, you're going to do something about it, all right? So here's what you're going to do about that, all right? Is again, you've acknowledged it, and now you take a deep breath, and now you're going to put that behind you because now that's not who you're going to be anymore, all right? And is what you're going to do, if that has been you, and now you want to do something different, okay, here's what you're going to do. I'll wait for you for about 30 seconds. No, it's not. I'm not even going to wait that long, okay? You're going to go get something to write with, and a napkin, your hand, whatever, all right? A pen, paper, and the reason why you get something to write with because it connects to your brain a little bit more, all right? So as you actually write things down, paper to pen, pencil to paper, okay? Of course, you can't write paper to pen, but you know what I'm saying. So when you actually write things down, it connects to your brain to understand and comprehend it a little bit better and a little bit more, okay? Because that's what you want. Because if you want to connect with your teen, right? Because that's what I help you do, then you have to do things a little bit different. If you've been helicopter parenting, you absolutely cannot parent in that frame, okay? So here's what you're going to do, all right? So you're going to write this down, okay, and you're going to think about what is your biggest fear when it comes to your teenager, okay? What is your biggest fear when it comes to your teenager? So you're going to write that down. And my biggest fear when it comes to my teen is what? All right, whatever that is, because I don't know. I don't know you. I don't know the situation. I don't know your teenager, but you do, okay? No one knows your teenager better than you. So what is your biggest fear, Mom? What is your biggest fear, Dad? Write it down, okay? All right, so the next question that you're going to answer is, why do I have this fear, okay? So definitely search yourself. So we're doing this video and we're doing this live, so you might have to go back to this video and really, because I really want you to think about that question, okay? Why do I have this fear? Wow. You know, gosh, what am I so fearful about? So I want you to really think about that because, hey, if you know right now, bam, write it down, okay? And if you don't, that's okay too, all right? Because you can go back to that question. Why do you have this fear, all right? So I fear whatever it is that you wrote down for your first one, okay? And then here's the second part to that question. Because why, okay? I fear whatever it was because why? Why is it that you are fearing that, okay? Again, you might have to go back to that and answer that. So your next one is, all right, do you think that your teen can make right decisions? You might be, no, they sure can't. Okay, you know, it really does feel like that sometimes, does it? Like, right, no, they can't. They can't. And that's why I have to help them with these decisions, because I already know the outcome of what they've done in their poor decision making. And I already know what it was like in my house and us and what the argument was and what the battle was. But, you know, have they ever made a right decision? I'm sure they have, you know, like they got up and, you know, made their bed. I don't know. Got up and got dressed. You know, hey, that's a good decision, isn't it? So even if it's itty bitty, teensy weensy, tiny, you still have to acknowledge that, okay? So yeah, they can make right decisions. But what will happen if they don't? Okay, and I know you're like, bam, what are you talking about? I already know what happens when they don't. So, okay, all right. And some, you know, there are instances like that, aren't there? What is happening when they don't make right decisions, okay? But yes, little Sarah Sue can make right decisions. It may not be today, and it may not have been yesterday, but you know what? There are some things that they can do right, okay? Little Johnny can make some right decisions. So you do have to acknowledge that when they do make some right decisions, okay? But then I want you to think about this, okay? What are you going to do if they don't make a right decision? And what did you do, okay, when they did not make a right decision, okay? So that's what I want you to be thinking about in this question. And the reason why I'm having you do this right now is because, see, in the midst of your fear, then you do not want to have your teen go and do things, right? You want to keep, oh my gosh, hovering over them in every aspect of their life. So then you think, because you're thinking, well, they can't make right decisions, so I have to make those right decisions for them. I have to be right there and I have to protect them. So you're like this and you're putting the bubble over your teenager, okay? And they're trying to bust out, hey, leave me alone. Give me some, let me fly. I want to be a peacock. Let me alone. So when you are not letting them, okay, then that's, they start to just, and they start to maybe rebel. And they may not do it yet, but once they leave your home, they probably, more than likely, will. All right? And there's not a darn thing you can do about it, is there? Well, there can be later, but okay, in the midst of some things, you got to let them, got to let them be that peacock, don't you? So you're going to think about what it is that you can do, okay? What are you going to do, all right, if they do not make right decisions, okay? In the midst of this, the discipline has to go along with what it is they've done, okay? What the punishment is. That they wore slides instead of tennis shoes that you wanted them to do, so now you take their phone away and their car away. Okay, no. All right, that's just dumb. You cannot do that kind of stuff. Okay, now that maybe if you had this teenager, now that they just kind of turned a teenager and they're 13 and they're doing stuff like, wow, oh my gosh, never thought they'd do that, right? Because that's real too. Okay, they will wake up and this isn't every teen, but sometimes they wake up, you're like, oh my gosh, they're so sweet and cute. And then they wake up and they're 12 and then the next day they're 13. You're like, what? Who are you? And what did you do with my sweet, wonderful child? That was 12 and now you're 13 and other things that's happening, okay? You have to have the punishment be to what it is, to what they've done, okay? And you're kind of thinking about these things, writing some of these things down so that you kind of have a heads up for yourself, okay? This is to help you, all right? This is to help you in your parenting. So, and it just is kind of giving you a few different things, okay? Sorry. So your next one is, what kind of adult do you want your teen to be? So write that down, okay? Because the goal in parenting should be that you want your teen to become a productive citizen, okay? So what kind of adult do you want your teen to become? This is about their character, all right? You write down, okay, when my teen is a grown man or woman, I want them to be what? Who, okay? So that's the first part of the question. And then the next part of the question is, how can I help my teen become the adult they are created to be? Okay, mom, dad, what can you do? How can you help your teen be that adult that they are created to be? All right. So sometimes that's kind of a tough question, especially if your teen is not being the person you want them to be right now. Okay. So this kind of goes back to that. And sometimes, like I said, when your teen is very disruptive and destructive, man, sometimes you're like, you want to be hovering. And sometimes you have to be hovering, but that is not the same as helicopter parenting, okay? That is you pulling in some structure. That's you, becoming the parent, doing the parenting that you need to be doing, all right? Again, because helicopter parenting and parenting your teen is not the same thing, okay? And sometimes you have to be, bam, so hovering over them because of what they've done and the direction they're going. And you got to pull it in tight for yourself so that they do not become a person that they're not created to be, okay? I hope all that makes complete sense, all right? Because that's two different things, all right? But it is something I want you to think about. What kind of adult do you want your teen to be, okay? Because, hey, if they're teenagers, that's 13 to 19, right? And 18 is considered an adult in our society of America. And 19 is, hey, they're just about not to become a teenager. But you want, their character to be shining for sure by that point, okay? So after you've gone through these questions, all right, remember that your teen will make mistakes, okay? And they will make wrong decisions because you cannot protect them from everything. And hey, I make mistakes And I've made some wrong decisions too as an adult. So it's not just your teenager, okay? And nobody wants someone just constantly hovering over them. Hey, even if you're married, right? Oh, maybe my video ended. I'm not sure. Okay, well, I guess it froze right here, so I guess it's still going? I don't know. Maybe someone can give me a thumbs up if it's still going, because on my screen it is not. So I guess I'll just keep going, and then I'll see at the end what it does. Okay, but now it kind of threw me off. Okay, I was just talking about you cannot protect your teen, of course. You can't just be over them all of the time. Okay, so that's something you definitely have to understand and to realize, okay? And also, all right, so I might have to make a part 2 of this video because I'm not sure if it's recording, if it's still going live, if I was limited. So if someone's on there, I don't know, you can maybe tell me. But anyway, hey, if you have been a helicopter parent, but don't go from one extreme to the other, okay? That you were that and now you're not. Don't just then, well, oh, well, gosh, well, then you just become don't even do any parenting, okay? So don't go to one extreme to the other in the midst of your parenting, all right? So do these things. That's going to help you with the helicopter parenting itself. And then, because it's good to have guidelines, it's good to have some structure in your home, all right? Because you don't want to just throw your teen to the wolves and just let them figure things out. And, oh, well, you know what, you're teenagers, you can just figure life out for yourself now, so scoot on out, go, go, go. You don't want to do that, okay? Because that's not what you should be doing in parenting, all right? Because your teen definitely needs some guidelines, all right? They need some rules, and it's okay to have that. And I know that you want to do the best job you possibly can, okay? And that is your job to do the best job you can when it comes to parenting, okay, period. But you definitely need to love your teen and to help them be the best version of who they are created to be, all right? And sometimes, hey, guess what? That's in letting them go, okay? And kind of stepping back and letting them figure some things out, okay, for themselves, but with solid direction from you and with you, okay? So there's a difference there. So that's what you want to, not just shoo them out and just, oh, they're going to figure it out, but it's you coming alongside of them and helping them and being with them and helping them with decisions to where now they can start bouncing some things off of you because you have a relationship and a connection together, okay? So you want, of course, be, and that's with you being in their life, okay, and caring about what's going on with their life. And again, like I said, not just throwing them out and just letting them figure things out for themselves, okay? So your teen definitely wants you to talk with them and to listen to them. That is the key thing there, okay? So not you being overbearing and plowing through their life like a freight train, okay? Constantly hovering over them, interfering to always make things the way you think they should be, all right? And telling them what to do and how to live every aspect of their life, okay? You do not need to be doing that. So take a deep breath, Mom, Dad, okay, and know it's going to be okay, all right? So I'm going to check this out and say, hey, but I'm going to say thanks for watching, and I might have to just make another take of this, the second part of this, and I'll definitely see you in the next video. All right, okay, we'll see what's going to happen here. Oh. All right, not sure what's happening. Okay.